automatically. You know the way you look at cute newborn babies with their tiny little hands and big eyes, the cute little sneezes, the pure, innocent smiles. That's how I look at systems. I see beauty in the systems, like the one I lovingly built to apply to 65 scholarships and pay my way through undergrad and grad school at Stanford. Or the system I built to read 2,000 emails a day, or to make sure my plants get watered when I go on vacation. As someone who works with spreadsheets every day, I love an automation. If I can get my spreadsheets to, auto-populate, stuff like that, it is a dream. So I can understand why automating your finances would be a really good thing. It says you might not relate to an intimate love of systems yet, but by the end of this chapter, you're going to. That's because automating your money will be the single most profitable system that you ever build. I built my own automated personal finance system over 15 years ago, and since then, it's run in the background every single day, generating more and more money and requiring almost no time to maintain. You can do this too and completely change the way you think about saving, investing, and even spending. Other people sigh and say, I need to buckle down and save more, although they almost never do. That's playing defensive. Instead, we're going to go on the offensive by building a system that acknowledges our normal human behaviour. We get bored, distracted, and demotivated, and uses technology to ensure we're still growing our money. In other words, do the work now and benefit forever, automatically. You are in control. You might say, that's all well and good if you have a consistent income, but what if your income is irregular? I know freelancers who earn $12,000 in a single month, but they don't have another client for 3 months. How are you supposed to automate your finances when your income is so spiky? And then it goes on to say, it's on another page in this book, I had a look online. You can't actually read all of a book and give away the systems and stuff for free. Ramit does give away a lot of information for free, so I'm just reading little bits of this book. I can't read like the whole thing to you, unfortunately. Do more before doing less. I don't know about you, but I plan to do less and less work as I go through my life. Yes. I'm 32. If I could retire tomorrow and sit on a beach, petting every single dog and every single cat that walked past, that would be my life. I would do that. I have no intention of working until I'm in a box, basically. Anyway. When I meet people on a career path that will have them working more, not less, I'm always puzzled. That's like being a real-life Mario brother, where every level you beat means you get a progressively more difficult. That's like being a real-life Mario brother, where every level you beat means your life gets progressively more difficult. Why? Why would you want that? That's why I love systems. You front-load the work now, then you get to benefit for years and years. By investing a little now, we don't have to invest a lot later. easier said than done. Somehow, we just never get around to consistently managing our money, and let's be honest, that will never change, because who really cares about managing money? It's about as appealing as cleaning the garage. Every week for the rest of your life. We dream of having an automated system that handles most of our to-dos for us, something that just works. You can make this dream come true if you follow the advice about automating. This is all driven by a principle I'll call the curve of doing more before doing less. And then there is a picture here. This is as much about where to invest your time as it is about where to put your money. Sure, setting up an automatic money flow will take a few hours. It would be easier to do nothing, but that would mean you'd have to manage your money constantly for the rest of your life. By spending a few hours up front, you'll end up saving huge amounts of time over the long term. Your money flow will be automatic, and each pound that comes in will be routed to the right account in your spending plan without you really having to think about it. The payoff for these few hours is huge, because this automatic system will let you focus on the fun parts of your life. No more worrying about whether you paid that bill or if you're going to be overdrawn again. You'll start to see money as a tool for getting what you want without the manual drudgery of tracking categories and transferring money from one account to another each week. To see how it works, let's use my friend Michelle as an example. Michelle gets paid once a month. Her employer automatically deducts 5% of her pay, an amount she has set up by talking to her HR department, and puts it in her pension. It's important to remember, if you read this book, he is American, he is not English. Although he has changed some of the words, some of the jargon to be British, American pension accounts are a little bit different to the UK ones. We obviously still have employer match pensions, but they don't necessarily work the same as the American one. The rest of Michelle's salary goes into her current account by direct deposit. About a day later, her automatic money flow begins, transferring money out of her current account. Her stocks and shares ISA will pull 5% of her salary for itself. That combines with the pension contribution to complete 10% of take-home pay for investing. 1% will go to a wedding sub-savings account, 2% to a house deposit sub-savings account, and 2% is earmarked for her emergency fund. That takes care of her monthly savings goals, with a total of 5% of take-home pay going into savings. If you watched my previous video about the 50-30-20 budgeting guidance, this is where you would implement some of those things. So it'll be a set amount of money going into your savings, etc. Her system automatically pays her fixed costs. She set it up so that the most of her subscriptions and bills are automatically paid by her credit card. Some of her bills can't be put on credit cards, for example, utilities and loans, so they're automatically paid from her current account. Finally, her credit card company automatically emails her a copy of her bill for a 5-minute review. After she's reviewed it, the bill is also automatically paid in full from her current account. The money that remains in her account is used for guilt-free spending. She knows that no matter what, she's already hit her savings and investing goals before she spends a penny of her guilt-free money, so she can truly enjoy buying what she wants. This is essentially how I run my accounts as well. It's not automatic because I don't like to do that, and I think there's a thing on the next page about that. But yeah, all my fixed costs, my bills, etc., they all go into one account, and then everything else goes into another account, so that I know that that's what I've got to spend for the month, and I'm not worried that something's going to bounce or something's not going to go out. To make sure she doesn't overspend, she focuses on 2 big wins: eating out and new clothes. She sets alerts in Money Dashboard to notify her if she goes over her spending goals, and she keeps a reserve of £500 in her current account just in case. The couple of times she went over her spending, she paid herself using her unexpected expenses money from her savings account. To track spending more easily, she uses her credit card to pay for all her fun stuff as often as possible. She knows from her spending trend that she tends to spend £100 a month in cash on coffee and taxis, so she includes that in her guilt-free spending. No tracking receipts or manually entering data. In the middle of the month, Michelle's calendar reminds her to check her financial software to make sure she's within her limits for her spending money. If she's doing fine, she gets on with her life. If she's over her limit, she decides what she needs to cut back on to stay on track for the rest of the month. Luckily, she has 15 days to get it right, and by politely passing on an invitation to eat out, she gets back on track. By the end of the month, she spent less than 2 hours monitoring her finances, yet she's invested 10%, saved 5%, paid all of her bills on time, paid off her credit card in full, and spent exactly what she wanted to spend. She had to say no only once, and it was no big deal. In fact, none of it was. And then there's a page here on common invisible scripts on automation. I wonder if my argument for it is in here. Let's have a look. So, common invisible scripts on automation. When it comes to automation, it sounds really good, yet almost none of us do it. Here's why. Invisible script. It feels like I have more control when I know I can invest when the market is down. That is not one of my invisible scripts. What this means is that I can understand being nervous about automating your finances. The good news is you are in control. You can always check on it and stop or change any setting you want. More important, be honest. Have you actually invested consistently every month? I have. Does all your money go where it should? Yes. Do you automatically rebalance? is no, you've lost money, so let's fix that. The next invisible script is, I only have a little money to start with, it doesn't seem worth it. Start now and build the habit. As your income increases, your habits will be aligned and your system will automatically grow with you. It's like, I don't know if you've heard, people wonder why those who earn higher amounts are still living paycheck to paycheck, and that is sometimes because they've never learnt how to actually manage their money. If you can't manage £1,000, how are you going to manage £10,000? You don't have the tools to do it. So that's a really good one. Start small, learn the habits, and then, it'll progress and grow with you. The next one is I manually invest based on my variable income. It's hard to automate when my income can vary wildly. And then it goes on about going to the variable income section, which we're not doing. The next one is, the honest answer is, because I don't know how. And then, his response to that is to basically just read the book. The fees are lower when I do it myself. I have more control of where my money is going, or at least it feels like it. It's also a forced check-in on my goals and progress. That's kind of how I feel about it. I probably would check it anyway, but I like to have an excuse to look at it. It says, sometimes your feelings are finely tuned instincts that you should listen to, but other times your feelings are capricious and misguided. But other times your feelings are misguided and lead you astray. This is one of those cases. Bottom line, automating your finances will give you more time, more money, and higher investment returns. And then on this page, there's a little graph, a little flowchart here about linking your accounts and what they should pay to. In case you're interested in actually buying the book, this is the contents page of the book, and the chapters are the introduction. Would you rather be sexy or rich? Chapter 1 is optimize your credit cards, how to beat the credit card companies at their own game. Chapter 2, beat the banks. Open high interest, low hassle accounts and negotiate fees like an Indian. Chapter 3 is get ready to invest. Open your pension and investment accounts even with just £50. Chapter 4 is conscious spending, how to save hundreds per month and still buy what you love. Chapter 5, which is what we've just read, it's not what we've just read, it's what we've read a little bit from. And this is save while sleeping, making your accounts work together automatically. Chapter 6 is the myth of financial expertise, why professional wine tasters and stock pickers are clueless and how you can beat them. Chapter 7. Investing isn't only for rich people. Spend the afternoon picking a simple portfolio that will make you rich. Chapter 8. How to maintain and grow your system. You've done the hard work. Here's how to maintain and optimize your financial infrastructure. And Chapter 9. A rich life. The finances of relationships, weddings, buying a car, and your first home. One thing I do like about this book is, let me find, wow, I'm not going to be able to find one, am I? Oh, okay, so yeah, there we go. So I will read you this little bit here. This is 10 Rules for a Rich Life. 10 Rules for a Rich Life. A rich life means you can spend extravagantly on the things you love as long as you cut costs mercilessly on the things you don't. Number 1. A rich life means you can spend extravagantly on the things you love as long as you cut costs mercilessly on the things you don't. Number 2. Focus on the big wins. The 5 to 10 things that get you disproportionate results, including automating your savings and investing, finding a job you love, and negotiating your salary. Get the big wins right, and you can order as many lattes as you want. Number 3. Investing should be boring and very profitable. Over the long term, I get more excited eating tacos than checking my investment returns. Number 4. There's a limit to how much you can cut, but no limit to how much you can earn. I have readers who earn $50,000 per year and ones who earn $750,000 per year. They both buy the same loaves of bread. Controlling spending is important, but your earnings become super linear. Number 5. Your friends and family will have lots of tips once you begin your financial journey. Listen politely, then stick to the program. Number 6. Build a collection of spending frameworks to use when deciding on buying something. Most people default to restrictive rules. I need to cut back on eating out. Most people default to restrictive rules. I need to cut back on eating out. But you can flip it and decide what you'll always spend on, like my book buying rule. If you're thinking about buying a book, just buy it. Don't waste even 5 seconds debating it. Applying even one new idea from a book is worth it, like this one. Number 7. Beware of the endless search for advanced tips. So many people seek out higher level answers to avoid the real hard work of improving step by step. It's easier to dream about winning the London Marathon than to go out for a 10-minute jog every morning. Sometimes the most advanced thing you can do is the basics consistently. Number 8. You are in control. This isn't a Disney movie and nobody's coming to rescue you. Fortunately, you can take control of your finances and your rich life. Number 9. Part of creating your rich life is the willingness to be unapologetically different. Once money isn't a primary constraint, you'll have the freedom to design your own rich life, which will almost certainly be different from the average person's. Embrace it. This is the fun part. Number 10. Live life the spreadsheet. Once you automate your money using the system in this book, you'll see that the most important part of a rich life is outside the spreadsheet. It involves relationships, new experiences, and giving back. You've earned it. So yeah, what I like about this book, if you buy it and you choose to implement it, each chapter is like a week in the book. So in week 1, you'll set up your credit cards, pay off debt if applicable, and learn how to master your credit history and free credit rewards. In week 2, so basically you read a chapter of the book and it's got points at the end that you action to be successful in the chapter. And then in week 2, you'll set up the right bank accounts. In week 3, you'll open a pension and an investment account, even if you just have £100 to start. In week 4, you'll figure out how much you're spending, and then you'll figure out how to make your money go where you want it to. So you're budgeting. Week 5, you'll automate your new infrastructure to make your accounts play together nicely. And in week 6, you'll learn why investing isn't the same as picking stocks, and how you can get the most out of the market with very little work. You'll also learn to choose a low-cost automatic portfolio that beats typical FTSE portfolios, and find out how to maintain your investments by setting up a system that lets you remain as hands-off as possible while your money accumulates automatically. Plus, I provide answers to many specific money questions, including how to buy a car, pay for a wedding, and negotiate your salary. After reading this book, you'll be better prepared to manage your finances than 99% of other people. You'll know what accounts to open, ways not to pay the bank extra fees, how to invest, how to think about money, and how to see through a lot of the hype that you encounter online every day. There aren't any secrets to getting rich. It just takes small steps and some discipline, and you can do it with a little bit of work. Now, let's get started. So that was a little bit from I Will Teach You to Be Rich. Like I said, it's also a Netflix series. He goes through the steps in the book with the people on the series. Sort of shows you how a real world implementation of it. But I hope you enjoyed this little reading. I have a whole collection of finance books, so if this does well, I will more than happily dust them